The big story, of course, today is that verdict in the Babri demolition case, which has acquitted all top leaders of the BJP of any conspiracy. The court saying that there was no conspiracy as far as the evidence presented before it is concerned. Joining us is Madhav Godbole. He was the Home Secretary at the time. He was serving under Prime Minister of the Congress, Narasimha Rao. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Godbole, for joining us. Now, I just read an interview of yours where you said you were aghast at the verdict. What about the verdict was it that made you aghast?
From what I could see from the newspaper reports and the electronic media, the trial was going on for 3 years. Hundreds of witnesses were examined in the court. Hundreds of documents were produced, and then the court came to a conclusion that there was no evidence to show that there was any conspiracy.
Right. And
therefore, I was quite frankly, I was surprised. If it is granted that this was a criminal offense to bring down the structure, how come nobody is responsible after 28 years?
Right. But, you know, you were Home Secretary at the time, so you would have had some idea of this conspiracy. I mean, what was that? In your view, were these leaders and all these Sangh Parivar organizations, were they in fact complicit in a conspiracy?
Well, as you know, perhaps you might have read, we had prepared in the Home Ministry a contingency plan for imposition of a president's rule in Uttar Pradesh, because we were convinced that the state government was not going to protect the mosque. That was our belief, and that was our conclusion on the basis of all that we knew of the situation at that time.
Sorry, this is important. You were convinced that the state government
plan was prepared. Unfortunately, it did not find acceptance with the political leadership at that time, and therefore nothing could be done further.
No, hold on. This is important. You're saying that the state government, which was at that time a BJP-led government of Kalyan Singh
government, that's right,
was not prepared.
Was not inclined to take any action to protect the mosque.
Was not inclined to take any action to protect the mosque.
And this is fully brought out, as you must have seen, from the report of the Liverhan Commission.
Yes.
In fact, it has given day-to-day analysis of the actions of all of these people at that time.
But
the report also lists all those who, according to the commission, was responsible for bringing down the structure.
Yes, of course, I've seen that report. But when you said this contingency plan was prepared, why was it not executed? Who was against it?
It was placed before the Prime Minister, and since it involved imposition of a president's rule, he had his own thoughts on the subject of what should be done or what should not be done. And he believed that Article 356, under which the president's rule was to be imposed, could not be invoked before actual breakdown of law and order, breakdown of the constitutional machinery. Now, he and I had a difference of view on the interpretation of that article, but in any way, as a Prime Minister, he believed that that was the interpretation, and therefore he did not take any decision.
But I was actually going to ask you about this, because this is a very important question mark over late Narasimha Rao's legacy, that he didn't act when he should have to prevent what happened, and one of the ways he could have done that was by imposing President's rule. You as Home Secretary believe that that's what you should have done. Is that right? When you say you had a different view.
I can't hear you, I'm afraid.
Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you.
Are you able to hear me now?
A little better, but a little louder.
Okay. Are you saying that you were in favor of imposing President's rule?
Yes, that was the proposal of the Home Ministry.
That was the proposal of the Home Ministry?
Home Ministry, it was a cabinet note was prepared, including the concurrence taken of the Law Ministry. All of this is a part of the books which I have written, including my memoirs.
But tell me, you're saying that Mr. Rao was reluctant.
Yeah.
Why? You're saying it was only because of the fact that it would have been premature, but it was also because he was in talks with leaders of the BJP RSS, and that's something he came under criticism for. That why was he negotiating with them when he should have been cracking down on them?
No idea. Quite frankly, I have no idea what reasons led him not to accept the proposal of the Home Ministry to impose President's rule. This was never made clear to any one of us, including the Home Minister, who had spoken to him on this subject several times.
In hindsight, was that a mistake?
Not only hindsight, even at that time, I believed that it was a mistake.
Okay, but
I wonder if you have read my book published last year, in which I have analyzed this once again on the basis of the latest evidence.
Right.
This book is called Babri Masjid and Ram Mandir Dilemma.
Right. But at the same time, is it okay, Mr. Godbole, though, is it at the same time, is it also somewhat convenient to completely absolve the centre, the Home Ministry, from trying to stop what could have happened? Central forces could have been sent.
You must realize that under the Constitution, law and order is a subject which is entirely with the state. The central government can come in only if this central government steps into the shoes of the state government by imposition of President's rule. And this is what we had proposed. But once that was negated, there was nothing that we could do, particularly when lakhs of car sevaks were milling around, because that is not something with which the center is concerned. Okay,
well, thank you very much indeed, Mr. Godbole, for speaking to us and giving us a sense of how, in a sense, there were multiple political hands that one could say were, in a sense, responsible for what happened that day. Thank you very much indeed for talking to us.
Yeah. Thank you.